Have you become an expert cartortionist? Good morning. As cars get bigger and car spaces don't, 1 in 5 of us have found ourselves crawling out of the boot. Are we due a bit more wiggle room? I take a look.
We've spoken a lot, quietly, about the struggling to park here on Breakfast over the last few weeks. As vehicles are getting bigger, spaces seem to be getting a bit smaller.
Are they getting smaller? Is it that the cars are getting bigger? I think the spaces are getting smaller. Nina, tell us, what's the truth?
Yes, good morning. I'll tell you what, if my car could talk, John can't, but if my car could talk, this would be the story of its life. Trying to squeeze into those car park spaces, trying to get the kids out the door when there's not much space. It is a nightmare. Yes, good morning. And we've talked about it on Breakfast before. Cars are getting wider, making it trickier to park. And a report out today says we're having to become cartortionists, with 1 in 5 of us having to exit via the boot because there's not enough door space. Get your tape measure out. On average, a family car is now 180 centimetres wide, with the most popular vehicles on average 13 centimetres wider than when they were launched. But look at this, parking spaces have stayed the same for decades now. 240 centimetres wide, leaving just 30 centimetres on either side to get in and out of your car. That there is the length of a cornflake box or a couple of tiny hot dogs. Now, almost a third of us have opted for a bigger car in the last 5 years, and that's been compounding the squeeze. More space for comfort, snazzier designs, but also new tech driving up the average size. It's leading to tension and damage and, in some cases, danger. So could we all do our bit?
Consumers can make a more conscious decision when they're thinking about where to park. So, you know, I know personally for me, I have a young daughter, so I need to think about where I can park so that I can get her out. So sometimes I'll look to park on the end of the line or maybe a little bit further away from the place I'm going to, just to kind of avoid these instances happening. But ultimately, I think, you know, if it's a busy location and there are, you know, limited spaces that people can park in, I think that consumers can start thinking about, you know, where can I park? You know, can I move a little bit over? Can I make sure I park, you know, if I have a smaller car or a bigger car next to a smaller car or a bigger car, just so that it kind of creates that little bit more space for people to get in and out of.
But as you will probably know, not everyone is entirely public-spirited when it comes to parking. So new standards were introduced in June, suggesting that spaces in new car parks are made longer and wider. But one car park in Lincolnshire is voluntarily blazing a trail. Have a watch. This is BBC Breakfast's version of Baywatch. You might find yourself wanting to move to Lincoln.
Some usual car parking spaces give you just a few inches either side of your car, and that can result in knocks and scrapes. But what if your space looked more like this? Well, in Lincoln's Broadgate car park, all your parking dreams, if you have them, may just have come true. Because just look at these for whoppers. Ample room for this little Fiat when your space measures almost 3.5 metres wide, a full metre or 3 feet wider than your average car parking space. But to give you an even better idea for scale, we took our very large BBC Transit van to park in one of these enormous spaces. This van is a big beast, but it wasn't even a snug fit. You can also see where the lines used to be.
So as you can see, we still have all of this room on this side, and about the same again on this, and we can even open our massive door as wide as we like without any fear of scratches or scrapes. And we've even measured these distances for you.
Approximately 81 centimetres on the driver's side and 85 centimetres on the passenger side.
I was really surprised last night when I was parking, because I was adamant that obviously it must be the wrong lines, but no, it's legit. It'd be nice if everywhere was like this, if I'm honest.
To get the children out of the car, it's ideal.
Got all this?
It's amazing. I can't believe how big they've done it.
Well, it's quite good because you're less likely to get your car damaged. We've often gone to car parks and then you find little dings down the side of your car where somebody's opened the door onto it. So the wider the better, really.
It does, however, mean 79 fewer spaces at this car park. But after positive feedback, the City of Lincoln Council says they will review what's possible at other older car parks. The only other drawback is this car park was pretty full. Simon Spark, BBC News.
Magnificent, having all that space, but if and until those bigger spaces become standard, well, the squeeze continues. It's stressful and expensive. A third of drivers damaged their vehicle in a car park last year, and look at this, the average cost of repairs was way over £200.
Almost every single car that sort of comes into the shop has had like a minor car park dent where someone's opened the door, you know, caught the panel, took the paint off and it needs a repair. The most common that we end up seeing is the bollard damage because it's quite severe, and obviously sometimes a smaller car park dents where people open the door on the car, people just leave it and just like think, oh, you know, I'll pass it on or leave it to a later date where it needs fixing. Whereas with the bollard damage, it sort of needs, you know, instant repair before it starts to rust or galvanise on the aluminium panels.
So there you go. Before you think about the new car, think about the size. As James was saying, that galvanising damage on the aluminium panels. We want to hear from you as ever on this. What tight spots, literally, have you found yourself in? Maybe you've had to crawl out of the passenger side. Perhaps you've had to leave the kids on the pavement before parking up. Maybe you have a photo of some costly repairs caused by tight spots. Please do get in touch in all of the usual ways. John and Sally, we used to live in a flat when I first had my son, and we parked between two pillars. There are the scars to prove it, but I would have to crawl out the boot and then grab the baby, put him in the boot and...
No!
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny, but it's also really stressful.
It's very, very
it's
stressful.
Every day, isn't it? So that cumulative stress,
And those big spaces are going to cost more, right?
Yeah, they are, but I am seriously thinking about moving to Lincoln.
Fabulous, didn't it?
Appealing, yeah. Despite the commute.
Watch out, Lincoln. Thank you, Nina.
You're warned.
Yeah, do let us know what you think about that. I think that's something that a lot of people are going to write in about this morning.
They already are.
Yes,
I can
I'm
see
sure.
the emails. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, we've been talking this morning about something called Cartortion. It is a thing, apparently. It's where you have to squeeze your vehicle into the tiniest gaps because your car has got bigger, or maybe you've got bigger.
Yeah, a bit of like gymnastics for grown-ups.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it time for the parking bay to actually get bigger? Lots of you have been getting in touch. And Nina is here this morning with some of your emails, loads of responses.
Yeah, it's something we've probably all noticed creeping up over the past 5 years. A third of us have got a bigger car. On average, the average vehicle has gone up by about 13 centimetres. What it means is...
In width?
In width, sorry, yeah. But because parking bays haven't, now we've got about 30 centimetres each side. I keep saying that's the length of a cornflake box to open your door, get yourself out, get your kids out. 1 in 5 of us now use the boot in order to get out the car. I've done that using the... I've even put the baby in the boot and then gone in front of her and then got her out that way. Lots of people been in touch this morning. Take a look at this. This is a viewer saying, I went to Norwich. Parking spaces are a bit tight. This person's...
Telling me.
That's not parking, that's a crash.
I think this is a serial offender, no cornflake pun intended, because look at the back corner there. Already scrapes.
I want to see the other side. I bet there's loads of room.
Exactly. That's my kind of driving. And it's not just Lincoln that we talked about earlier making changes. Chris has emailed in saying, look at this is just showing off, Chris. This is the wonderful spaces at his Asda supermarket in Gloucester. That is the...
But look at the cars, Nina. Look at the cars. They need to be big spaces.
That's true. That's true. They're lovely cars, lovely parking spots. Let's all move to Gloucester.
So, you're moving everywhere this morning. Lincoln,
Don't get
Gloucester.
me started on the family spaces that are like that are missing the actual children that are supposed to accompany those family spaces.
Oh, what, you mean people using them and they shouldn't?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a whole other morning.
And there's really says, like, people here saying the worst thing is the parking at our local maternity hospital, where the spaces are so small, normal-sized people can't get out. And it's even worse if you go in there and you're pregnant.
Shirley's made a suggestion. Different floors, 1 row for large cars in multi-stories, 1 floor for smaller cars, so on and so forth.
But do you think people would obey?
Certain drivers, and I will not name the cars they drive, would never obey the rules.
No.
OK.
I think we know who you mean.
Don't look at me. Thank you, Nina.
There you go. Before you think about your new car size, think about it a lot. As James was saying, that galvanising damage on the aluminium panels could be possible. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Ellen sent this. I had to get out of my car for my husband to park so that he could get out. In his photo, he could see this. Who designed this car park? Who indeed? And Andrew hasn't, Missed an opportunity to humble brag. Look at this. How about this for parallel parking? He says, close to the curb, nobody dinged, and less than 30 centimetres front and back. Well done, Andrew. And this one comes from Mr. Warhurst, who points out that his wife, me, is at least symmetrical when she hits her pillars.
Oh, well done, Nina. I'm proud of you there.
Thank
good work.
you.
Yeah, good work.
Thank you. If you're going to do it one way while you're
Matching
reversing
bumps.
in, you've got to do it the other way. That's my advice.
Love it. I'm glad he sent that in. That's brilliant. Do you know what, Nina? That is nothing. Because wait till you see what we've got for you now, from parking cars to parking tractors.
Oh, OK. So the world's first pub parking bay, designed specifically for tractors, has been installed at the Anchor Inn in the Peak District after popular demand from its customers.
Our reporter Alex Thorpe has been to try and find a space.
Hey, some folk love it, some folk think we just ride round in a tractor on Raz. We don't get dressed and have a shower and say, let's go out on tractor tonight on a pub crawl. It's just when we're passing, call in.
This is thought to be the world's first pub tractor bay.
Oh, it's brilliant. When we're passing, we can come in for a coat, where you'd do it on a lot of pub car parks and they wouldn't look nice at it. But no, it's brilliant in here. You can come in as muck, and we're always welcome. Takes a big bay so we can get in. We pass in with a tanker up back, we can come in with that. First there, first served. It is, yeah. Yeah.
The parking bay was installed during a refurbishment at the Anchor Inn in Tideswell, Derbyshire.
One day, randomly, a fella came in with a muck spreader and a tractor, and I always thought if you could potentially have a parking space for it. As far as I know, it is the world's first pub tractor parking space. And yeah, I don't know who worked it out, but apparently it is the world's first, yeah. Phenomenal. It's been really good. The general consensus is it's a great idea. And if it's supporting the farming community, then that's brilliant for me.
I've farmed around here all my life. Been coming in the Anchor since I was a young boy, which was 40 odd years ago. Farming is a very isolated industry. You work a lot of hours on your own. And it is nice to come meet up. If you see somebody's tractor there and you think, oh, you're going to call in and have a chin wag with them. So we all know each other's tractors, we all know who's about. And if we've got 10 minutes spare and we want us dinner or whatever, that's, we'll call in and have a chin wag. Yeah, no, it's very different, yeah.
It's difficult at the moment for farming. It is. At least you've got a place to come to and relax and friendly atmosphere, then the pub's a place to go. And if they can come in a tractor, then come in a tractor. Right.
Alex Thorpe, BBC News.
The trouble is every farmer in the land now knows about it, and every tractor in the country is going to be heading for that car park.
It'll be like a tractor convention.
They'll have to get in the narrower again.